Hello everyone, Livy here, back with another video. And this one's going to be a little different because I actually have I'm going to be sharing more than just a tarot deck. There's other bits because fun fact, I was actually in Canada recently, specifically to Toronto area, but I was in Canada recently. And only a couple of you might have known that because I know some of you messaged me about potentially getting decks from my Purgatory decks. And by the way, if you have, I'm going to reach out to you. I just recently got back, so I'm trying to like get back into swing of things. But anyways, yeah, I was in Canada and you guys didn't know because I scheduled a bunch of videos in advance. So, you're probably wondering, well, okay, you were in Canada, cool. What were you doing? It was really just for vacation, to be honest, but also I finally got to meet my partner's sister. And while I was in Canada, I did do some shopping. So, as maybe even my title will say, I went on vacation and still ended up buying a tarot deck. What the heck? But I did. Sorry, taking a sip of my tea. I ended up buying a tarot deck, but before I get to the tarot deck, let me show you some of the things I bought. Well, first off, actually, the tea in question, boysenberry tea. This stuff is actually pretty good. I think I should have even left it steep longer, but I love boysenberries. If you don't know what a boysenberry is, it's kind of like a cross between a raspberry and a blackberry. Very specific types of blackberry and raspberry, I should say. It's a Californian thing. It was actually grown in California, so I love it. Boysenberry tea, though, very tasty. I also got some fancy jams. I love jams, okay? I'm sorry. I love jams. And this place is supposed to be very famous for Niagara-on-the-Lake in Canada. So it was just a fun little memento. I don't know if it'll be good yet, but this is rhubarb strawberry. I love food and I love all kinds of teas and coffees. Yeah, anyways, so that's why I bought those. But they also had this cool shop that, let me see, sorry, I'm collecting my thoughts here. They have this cool shop that's actually a Christmas store all year round in Niagara-on-the-Lake, which is like kind of near Niagara Falls. And I bought this cute owl ornament. I love owls and I love just like fluffy little ornaments like this. Also, we have to buy ornaments like this because I have a cat who is a terror and she will climb on the tree every time we set up a Christmas tree. So, yeah, I have to buy ornaments that if they fall, they're not going to break. So, cute little owl ornament from that store. I also bought some things for my relatives, but I already gave it to them, so I'm not going to show what I got them. Before I show the deck that I bought, and something else I also bought at that same store, one of the other things I bought is because, okay, you guys should know, I already talked about the fact that I love fantasy. I love fantasy things. I read fantasy books, okay? Just straight up. You gotta know, I love books too, besides tarot. Books and tarot maybe go hand in hand, but anyways, I'm rambling. Sorry, maybe it's a tea. I bought a book while on vacation because even if I bring a book on vacation, somehow I still end up buying a book while on vacation. So I bought this one, by Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. Now, I bought this book. Well, not just because the aesthetic looks like beautiful and stuff, right? I've actually read this author before. I read her first book, what's it called? An Enchantment of Ravens, and I still own that book. I really like her writing style. It was just like unexpectedly a funny book, so I hope this kind of has like some of that in there. Not like it was haha funny all the time. It was just like, there was just a way she wrote some things that was just like, I literally laughed out loud and I loved it. But the reason why I picked this book up is because this book reminds me of, what's that author? Garth Nix. He wrote that trilogy that starts with Sabriel. Fun fact, I could not get into that series. I couldn't. I don't know why. I tried to read it in college and I was just like, this is not my jam. So I ditched that book. But this vaguely reminds me of it, but it sounds like in a way that I might actually like it. So it goes, the spirits of the dead do not rest. So Artemisia is training to be a Grey Sister, a nun who cleanses the bodies of the deceased so that their souls can pass on. Otherwise, they will rise as ravenous, hungry spirits. She would rather deal with the dead than the living, who whisper about her scarred hands and troubled past. When her convent is attacked by possessed soldiers, Artemisia defends it by awakening an ancient spirit bound to a saint's relic. It is a revenant, a malevolent being that threatens to possess her the moment she drops her guard. Wielding its extraordinary power almost consumes her, but death has come, and only a Vespertine, a priestess trained to wield a high relic, has any chance of stopping it. With all knowledge of Vespertines lost to time, Artemisia turns to the last remaining expert for help, the Revenant itself. As she unravels a sinister mystery of saints, secrets, and dark magic, her bond with the Revenant grows, and when a hidden evil begins to surface, she discovers that facing this enemy might require her to betray everything she has been taught to believe, if the Revenant doesn't betray her first. So yeah, I don't know. This is kind of my jam in some ways. So I'm really excited to read this. Again, I already like this author, so I'm excited to read this. I think this will be better for me, maybe, I hope, than Sabriel was. But I'm excited to dig into this. And if you like fantasy too, maybe give this one a try. I don't know. You know, the only thing I don't know is if this is technically YA or regular fantasy? ? I don't know. But anyways, not important. Just sounds really great. But now you're probably wondering, been rambling a bit, even talked about a book, tea, everything. What tarot deck did I buy? So, sorry, not a sip of tea. What tarot deck? Well, this is actually a mass market tarot deck. I bought it at this cool metaphysical store that, I don't know, it's kind of boutique-y look. It was kind of boutique-y looking. It was mostly for rocks, and it is actually called the Rock Store, I believe, in Toronto. While I was there, I got, this is not the greatest lighting. I'm sorry. I'm like filming this at night, so not the greatest lighting, but I got this cool bracelet of common opal. Oh, shoot. And I didn't bring it's okay. Oh, well. Sorry, guys. It did have a little, it did have some info on it and like what common opal is good for, but I thought this would be the perfect stone for me because one of the takeaways that I remember with this stone is that it helps, like align chakra and like help with dispelling depression, and because I deal with that a little bit, I just thought this would be a nice calming bracelet to have, and I've been wearing it a lot, so yeah, love that. But at that same store, besides most of the rocks, there were some books and some tarot decks. So the one I got is actually a mass market. It's been around a while. It is the Shadowscapes Tarot, and yep, you can see creators. There's even Barbara Moore in there. The reason why I finally picked this deck up because I've been eyeing this deck. It is very fantasy, as you can tell by the art style, right? It's very fantasy. It's almost kind of fae energy. And I've been eyeing this one. But what's always stopped me is that this deck normally comes in this really big box. I will say, though, if you are a beginner and you need a big guidebook, definitely get that big box version because I feel like that would probably benefit you the best. But because I'm kind of at that, I want to say I'm kind of at a more intermediate level of tarot. I didn't really want the big box. So I found this small version while I was there and I snatched it up. Now it's interesting enough, it says $23.99 US, but I paid more for that obviously because it was in Canadian dollars while I was in Canada. But yeah, it has a good little box, this version. And this version only comes with this little white book. Now, as you can see, it is like a really little white book. It doesn't even fit all the way of the box. Llewellyn. Oh, yeah, and it's interesting that some of the writing continues over. It's like a spread. It spreads in the back. So this little white book is not, as you can see, there's like the tiniest little section about each of the cards. So again, if you're more intermediate level of tarot, this is going to be fine for you. But if you are a beginner, I would recommend probably getting the bigger book. But anyways, let me show you the cards. Now, the other stick with this deck and why I think it deters some people from getting it. Well, these are the beautiful backs. So the backs are beautiful. The cardstock isn't bad in my opinion. I don't know. It's thinner. I feel like if you were somebody who, once again, I always say this, but if you're someone who riffle shuffles, I don't think you'll have problems with this cardstock. And it's like smooth, but as you can see, it doesn't have like a bad glare. It's not like a high gloss. But some people don't like this deck, I feel like, because, or I've heard, right? Some people don't like this deck because, as you can see, maybe the light, there you go, you can see in the light. It does like, it has these silver borders. So that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? Silver borders. But I've been interested in this deck, again, because it's very fantasy-like. It's very Fae energy. I don't like a lot of Fae energy decks. I'm not like big fairies, but just has that like vibe I'm kind of interested in. And I am glad I picked this up. At first, by the way, I love this Lovers card. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like all the little details. Like it still has like some of the, symbolism. But they just seem so, I don't know. Something about this makes me happy. But yeah, this deck, as you can see, it's very beautiful, very detailed, very soft color palettes. It's very different than a lot of the decks I currently own, I think, because while I have a lot of decks that kind of blend into fantasy, this is like the only one that's very much like, this is like quote quote high fantasy, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful. Like, look at that. Like, what? Look at that detail. Look at that stained glass. That's just, I don't know, that's just everything to me. And it is a mass market, so this is like affordable in most people's wheelhouses, if you like this kind of vibe, I also would recommend it. Again, I think this would be probably better if you're a beginner, this is probably going to be better to have a bigger booklet than this. But yeah, this deck, I'm really glad I picked it up. At first, not gonna lie, so I think I've talked about this also before. I don't always like decks that are more people-centric. And it's not even to say I prefer animal decks either, because I feel like if I have too much animal energy, I also don't like that. I don't know. I'm so picky. I'm so picky. I need a good balance. I need more symbology and imagery, I guess, in my tarot than necessarily having one extreme or the other all the time. But I think it's because this has enough background and other things to it. This one so far is working for me. And as you can see, it's not in order because I've already shuffled it while I was on the train coming back from Toronto to where I was staying. I even flipped through it. I got to look at all the cards. Wow, this Nine of Swords, it's like, that's actually really cool. Because it's like, you can tell there's some kind of anxiety going on there, and like doom and gloom is going to happen up there. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, this is just a beautiful, beautiful deck. And I always held off on it because, yeah, I didn't want that big box. And I finally got a copy in a much more convenient box for me. Also because I've talked about this too. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment with my partner. So my tarot decks, I don't have a crazy big collection because I have to keep things confined. I have to keep it small. So the smaller my boxes and things, the better for me. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to get into this one. It gives me, it's kind of interesting. It gives me almost like wintertime vibes, which is what we're going into. But at the same time, it's very springy. So maybe I'd be coming back to this in the spring too. But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to get into this one. And I will also say, as I take a sip of my tea, I will say, it was funny. While I was on vacation and I bought this deck, another deck came in. I'm not going to show that one completely yet, because I'm going to do actually a video about that deck. It'll be a flip through because I'll be honest, I cheated. I already opened it up. So it's not a full unboxing, but I will flip through the cards and talk about them. Oh, and this is how easy it is to shuffle, by the way. I'm an overhand shuffler. So as you can see, yep, really easy to overhand. So it would be equally easy if you were a riffle shuffler. Actually, maybe this is a time to do that. So fun fact about me, I actually don't always just overhand though. I have a different shuffle method. And I'm like debating, should I show some of that? I don't know. Would you guys? Actually, you know what? Just tell me if you're interested in that. It's convoluted. I have this really convoluted way I actually do tarot readings, like how I shuffle my deck, because I'm not a riffle shuffler. I don't have the motor skills to riffle shuffle. I don't know how to do that. I do overhand a little bit, but then I do something else. And maybe one day I'll do a video on that. If anyone wants to see that, I will do that. But actually, I'm not going to do that right now. See, sorry, I'm not making sense. I'm at that time of day where it's actually night. So I'm losing my marbles. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm only going to show a peek. You're gonna have to guess. If you don't know what this deck is, you'll find out because I'll be doing a video. But the next video I'm going to be doing is actually a flip through of this deck. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. But hope you enjoyed this quick little video about kind of what I was doing while I was away and a new deck I picked up that I'm excited to work with. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.